Wake your game up, it's your boy June. You are now listening to Junnin with June, the best fucking podcast in the universe.
Nikki Paige in a rage.
Appreciate you coming out and making it happen. So all I want to get straight into it. So tell us a little bit about the come up. Where you from? How'd you start making music?
Man, so I started really young, and I was performing around different churches and different little events that I could just, sing at, my talent shows and stuff. And somewhere along the line, I met Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys. And
oh, sheesh.
He was coming to my shows. We were giving out free pizza like 2 days a week to kids that wanted to come and just do like cover songs, karaoke, basically. And then from there, got a publishing deal with Warner Chappell at 11. Got picked up by a lady named Barbara Orbison at 12, and then my whole career just pretty much started, going around traveling. And
holy shit! How was it like growing up? Where you're from though? Like, was it bad? What was the area like? And just as an artist coming up, was it difficult?
Well, where I was born in Stockton, so probably from what I've heard, one of the first places that ever went bankrupt in California. So they used to.
Who went bankrupt?
Stockton.
Oh, Stockton. Yeah. Stockton is wild. I've been to Stockton.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. It was like 24 killings a day or something.
Oh
like that.
wow.
Yeah. But they were running around sprinkling nails and dirty needles and stuff in the sandboxes, and so my parents were like, "What the heck?" We heard it all over the news, and then one day I jumped off the swing set and a nail went all the way up my left foot. Still have a scar, and my parents were like, I can't even have my kid play in the
Did you sue?
Sandbox. No, sue what the sand.
The sand. Yeah, I was going to say whoever's party, you can sue the city.
It's
right?
public, so it's like
I don't think that my family was really thinking about that. They were just trying to at the same time I was expressing that
youngest child,
baby.
Okay.
So. Yeah, so we wanted to move out to Southern California to pursue, which my parents thought I wanted to act, I wanted to sing and write songs. So, but yeah, that's kind of where it all started.
Any new albums coming or any new projects coming that you're working on right now? Because you're in the studio a lot, so what's the word?
I'm working on a couple of cool different projects, some for other artists. I write a lot for other artists as well, and vocal produce and stuff. But for my own stuff, I'm finally going to be releasing an album. Haven't quite decided how long it's going to be, how many records, but I'm very excited to say that I think the first one is coming out. Also getting a lot of help, mind you, from different people that have got songs and everything, and they're helping me put out their project. I'm working with different producers and stuff. So as far as what I'm putting out personally, it's going to be coming out probably April.
Are you signed to any labels?
I've been signed to labels. It's always been a thing, but I feel like right now my team of people is the label that I'm working with, and we're just being, I know exactly what's going on. Yeah. There's nobody emailing or CCing, don't tell Nikki. I know, I like that type of business a little bit better.
What was the issue with having a label when you did have one?
Well, first of all, they don't pay you enough starting out. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're some huge artist that is making $16 million or whatever a year, they're just going to offer you, less than that. And then I realized that whether it's a publishing company or a record deal, you're gambling against yourself that you can't make that much more money than them in a year. And at that point, then when, and you do get a team, but they're assigned team members that you don't know really well, or
you have no chemistry with them. It's just they're just there. They're just working a regular 9-to-5 job.
Exactly. And then they all have their own little projects that they're working on the side, so they're not really dedicating all their time really to you.
They're working 9-to-5 just like everybody else.
Exactly.
Right.
So when you find your own team of people that, this is what everybody knows their role, and they all believe in themselves and they want to do what they're doing, then it just kind of the boat takes off a little bit,
That makes sense.
So do you because you write, do you make beats as well, or have you ever tried to?
Yeah, I've made a couple beats and stuff, but normally I do produce music, and I'm more behind the scenes, and I get an engineer or somebody. I've been having a lot of fun lately, just going in the studio and doing different noises, and and then we hey, why don't we bring that down 4 or 5 cents or whatever, and we turn these sounds into actual
just experimenting with sounds.
Exactly.
Just having fun with it.
I'm having so much fun with that, and I've made a lot of beats for other people recently doing that, and it's cool.
What do you produce on when you do make beats?
Pro Tools normally.
That's interesting. I know one person that produces on Pro Tools, but isn't it kind of hard to navigate through that door?
Well, not really. I mean, with Logic and stuff, that's more for instruments. So when you work with different musicians like I do, I love working with real musicians.
Yeah.
So that's for that, and because there's just more instrument sounds in that system, that DAW. But with Pro Tools, it's more vocal oriented, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
basically, you know, I can create the sounds, we can add in plugins and whatnot, and if there's an issue, or whether it be Ableton or whatever, we just bounce the waves into whatever.
You ever try to make a beat off of singing?
That's what I've been doing lately.
Yeah,
All
that's
I've
crazy.
been doing lately.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because you can hit different notes and then you can put a drum
Like the
behind
vocal
it.
chops
It's like
and samples,
sampling your
yeah.
own voice.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. We're
Yeah, no,
sampling
that's crazy.
vocals. And I even sample other people's vocals. I'll have my friends come in and be like, why don't you just sing this, you know? And everybody has like a cool experience. They're a part of it, you know what I mean? So they
it's
talk
a
about
vibe,
it more.
yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
So do you have songs that you've like that you're on that you produce that's currently out, or is that something new you've been working on?
There are, but a lot of stuff like I've been paid a lot to just shut up.
Do you feel like, because you write for people as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever feel like writing music kind of puts you back from, you know, standing out as an artist? You know, because when you're a writer, a lot of writers don't get enough credit. So like they'll write, but then when they try to be an artist, it's really hard for them to like stand out and, you know, be better. You know,
I don't think that's an issue. I feel like it's all connected. And I've met a lot of people through writing for other people. So, you know, if I get called in on a project and I met a new engineer, now later I can go work with that engineer, you know, and it's all about just growing and helping each other in this like whole support group that we have basically in the industry. It's a small circle of circles, you know, that it's a small industry, but it's just different circles of people and going in and meeting them and just collaborating with different people. Yeah, I've learned and I found like different concepts and melodies that I've pulled that maybe that didn't work for them, but it might work for me. So that's kind of what I've been like slowly collecting for my album and making that, you know, I'm excited.
Yeah.
That's dope that you feel it that way, because some people are selfish in the industry. You know what I mean? They want.
You can't be really today. You really can't be. This is not if you're selfish, like they say you should be taking care of yourself. That is absolutely true.
Right.
But if you go about it like with an ego, that you're afraid that somebody's gonna like swoop up on your producer or whatever. That's not how it works. That's how you make enemies. And this whole thing, it's really easy to burn your name out here. And trust me, you know what I mean? Especially if you're like, I'm one to know, I would show up, you know, drunk as hell and just not get anything done. Even with you, I think we worked one time like that. And there's times where you want to take it seriously, but no, you know, you got to help each other out. That's how you really, really start to develop a name in it.
Yeah. Have you been on tour yet?
Yep. I've done a couple of different tours. I mean, my whole life, really. Yeah.
What's the biggest crowd you performed in front of?
Probably like 10,000 people.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was someone else's show. They put a couple of different artists together, and
Were you nervous?
was I nervous? I actually had pneumonia.
Oh wow! So you was like Michael Jordan, just going out, getting the job done.
But I used to get sick a lot, so I didn't. But there's no stopping the show. You know what I mean? I already committed to that, so rehearsal.
No excuses. You're in there.
And they wanted me to lip sync, and I was like, no way, like that's not what I'm not doing that. Like that's lame. I'd rather suck than say that like and some sort of malfunction happened, and then So I went up there and I sang with my raspy voice, and actually it ended up being really dope.
Wow, like, that's crazy.
That's a crazy mentality you have. That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah. Do you have like any rituals before you perform?
Rituals?
Like how like people they say a prayer. Some people, you know. Me sometimes, I take a shot with the team, just to get the jitters out,
Yeah, I always say a prayer before I go up. And sometimes I take like 2 shots. If I take more than that, then I will be sloppy and But it was a learning curve to figure out how much you can actually have, because it does help loosen you up. And one time I tried to do a show completely sober, and it was just like I was tense, for sure. I'm not saying that that's something that everybody needs, but it's funny, like the labels back in the day, they would pay for like heroin for artists and stuff like that. It's like whatever they want to be comfortable to get that out. And now I'm in that process of learning how to basically like turn on without that. But yeah, prayer always kind of gets me through it, and also the connection with the audience. That's always something.
Have you like ever made any mistakes like when you were performing?
Forgot some words.
Went backstage and was like, oh fuck, I fucked up tonight.
Every single time. I actually have a couple songs that my friends would all know, and I would be at backstage right before going on, like, what is the first line, dude, to this song, and they would text me like, but at the same time, people don't really know, especially when you're coming up, you know what I mean? Like, they don't know every word. They don't know when you mess up. And if you do mess up, I have like a little thing I like to think about, like if a dancer is dancing and she drops her hat or he drops her hat, they just ignore it like it didn't happen or it was supposed to happen like that.
And you gotta understand.
There's ways around it.
And we gotta understand too, when you go and you perform, majority of the crowd's fucked up.
Facts.
You know, they're fucked up and they're on drugs.
Well, a lot of them
and
are
their vibe and their vibe. No, I mean, but a lot of them like go there and their vibe, and you know they're on drinks or you know whatever the case may be. So like, what you know, if you were performing, and you forgot a word, they're not even like on their mind. They're like, oh, I don't even remember that. They're not gonna remember that.
They just remember a good time. They just remember seeing their favorite artist.
That's why you gotta act like it's not, like nothing happened.
Right,
It's really the experience that they're going there for. So if something happens and they can talk about it, then like, yo, you just put on a really cool show, like, and got through it. That's the whole thing. It's just to get through it.
Yeah. What's the funniest thing you can remember about tour?
Okay, so I have this rubber chicken named Nugget, and I don't know, it's just really funny. I have this thing about chickens, actually, that's another story, but so Nugget, I would throw him out into the crowd, and somehow every single time Nugget finds his way, you just see Nugget bouncing around in the audience, and like somehow
it's like
at the
a
end of the
big
show,
inflatable.
no, he's just like a little like rubber little nugget, little chicken that I got from Spencer's. And anyways, I threw him out, and I just kept watching him bounce. I'm like, oh, he'll be back, you know what I mean? And then if he doesn't, you shout it out like, where's Nugget? Like throw the Nugget back, and he comes back. Well, this one time he didn't, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I lost the original, like the real Nugget, you know? And
That's
so we leave the show, and when we go to like an after party, I'm all bummed out, and like literally we're at some random bar down the street, and we see Nugget and some guys over there like giving him like trying to resuscitate him because his squawker broke. And I was like, and we got the whole thing on camera, and we're like, wait a minute, you got Nugget? Like we found him, we got him back, we put him in the bath, like he was fine.
Man, that's crazy. But it wasn't real, right? It was just making sure.
Wait, what?
That was blow up, right?
No, he's a rubber chicken.
Oh, I thought you said it was like a real chicken, like just
rubber.
No.
Yeah, okay.
It's like
rubber.
Because when you just asked her that, she was like, no, it's a rubber. And I thought she was going to say real chicken.
No. I just want, that's how to make sure too. It's not real, right? Because you trying to bring it back to life.
I can't really have any real animals, man. I would forget to feed it. Something I could barely feed myself.
Not forget to feed the animal. Oh no.
Have you been on any like you do a lot of podcasts?
I've been doing a little bit more lately, but that's kind of a newer thing that, you know what I mean? I've been really focused on being in the studio and just getting the best music either for myself or for others. So now that I'm getting closer to releasing my own project, I am doing more of these for sure. Yeah.
On tour, and I'm going to just ask, on tour, what do you think you could have done better on tour?
On tour? I think probably spend less money on dumb things. I would always say, and the whole time.
It's expensive.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. And you're paying for everybody, and you got these hotels, and if you just have the wrong person running the show, they're gonna decide that's like dictating where the money goes. That I would have probably changed because I definitely had a really awesome opportunity that was very well funded, blown on stupid things for somebody else's leisure.
On tour, do you feel that you lost money or made money while being on tour?
I personally didn't lose any money, but the label lost money.
Spin it, yeah, sure. Exactly.
They did, but definitely. It wasn't. It was just the money wasn't being handled properly. You know what I mean? Yeah. I feel like I could be way further along in my career if I just made the right choices of who's going to be involved in it, and that's where I'm at now. I'm very, very proud of my team of people that I'm.
It makes sense why you're so selective of who's on your team now.
Yeah, it makes a lot easier.
So with COVID going on, you know, with it going on right now, and how did that like affect the music and shows and making money off of maybe a feature or whatever the case may be?
Actually, with features and stuff, it kind of helped out because everyone got all their EDD money. So, but so that was cool. I was still working and whatnot. You know what I mean? And people have home studios, and I like I said, there's different circles that I work with, and we were pretty much family. You know, we know everyone's cool. We're not running around. There wasn't any like clubs happening, but I wasn't at first very afraid of it. I was respecting it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, no. It didn't really affect me too much. Shows, yes, but I wasn't really trying to do any shows. I was supposed to go to New Zealand and have a tour, and
that's big.
That got canceled in the beginning.
Was that just you?
That was just for me. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's big.
It was. That was a bummer, but we made up for it.
Where's your biggest fan base? If you had to say your favorite fans, like where instantly you always remember.
Man, well, Southern California. I don't know. That's kind of hard because I have them all over. I've been doing this for so long. I've lived in so many different states, cities, countries that it's all about That's one thing about it.
Yeah.
Once you develop one fan base here, you got to go there and do the same thing there.
Right.
Everywhere, all over the world, you know what I mean? So, and then you might lose some in this area or that area. So it's just being consistent. That's what touring is. That's why it's so important.
So you lived out the side of the country?
Mm-hmm.
Where are some places you live?
I lived in Sweden. I lived in London. When I told you about Barbara Orbison, she had different flats, and she was extremely wealthy. She was married to Roy Orbison. She was her pretty woman walking down the street. So she was she was his widow, and she lived everywhere. So I was kind of being taken under her wing and had a very, very, very awesome experience in life. You know,
that's crazy. So that's basically like, how do you stay relevant? Are you dropping more music? If it's not a feature and it's like, you know, you're not doing shows. I mean, you're doing those, but right now, you know, that's not your focus because you're focused on your project. But how do you like keep the fans like, oh, okay,
entertained? Yeah.
I don't really try to stay relevant. I do this because I love to do this. I think I stay relevant by not trying to stay relevant.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you're just constantly bombarding people with your music and your pictures and your work, people will get bored and tired. You know, so giving them space sometimes is cool. I've definitely. I've been pretty fortunate to have a pretty loyal fan base to the songs. I'll just drop one and I won't even release it on iTunes, you know, because people know that I will be dropping something. Staying in different studios, working with different people, that's kind of like word of mouth, and that goes a long way. And when when you get other people involved, they're talking about it too. So that's really helped. But you know, just not stressing about it or having any expectations is what helps you keep going.
Exactly. No, I agree with you. What message do you put out through your music?
Basically, how to be a better person. I would say whether, you know, you don't have to treat that guy bad or that girl bad. I really am. I'm really just trying to show people that being a good person is a lot more rewarding, and it goes a long ways, and it comes back to you. So yeah, be good and see what happens. It's crazy.
You definitely get what you give.
Yeah,
for sure.
That is very true.
So as an artist in this industry, it's very judgmental. How do you deal with rejection in this industry?
Again, you have no expectations. You don't really care because even if you are the worst rapper, singer, songwriter, producer, somebody out there is going to like it. Exactly. Somebody else has like had the same like, you know, heroes and stuff that inspired them that you did, and somebody's gonna like it. So who cares if someone doesn't like it is the question. Like really, why? Like it's just music is a way that people express themselves, you know, and it touches other people. So you can't worry about getting the approval stamp of everybody that you're putting this out for. You shouldn't be putting it out for everybody. You should be putting this out because you love to do it, you know.
Exactly. If you could fix one thing about yourself, what would it be? One
thing about myself? I'm legally blind, and that kind of makes it hard for me to...
Every time you say it's the way you say it, because I just hear this meme when I'm legally blind.
Black lady.
No,
but that's kind of cool, too, to be legally blind, because I'm not very good at driving, and so, you know what I mean? I get to...
you can't wear like glasses or contacts or anything?
No. So it's a crazy story. I got slipped some pretty heavy duty drugs and stared into the sun for 3 days.
Oh gosh.
So I tell people this all the time because they really think like
shit is.
This is a real story.
This is a real story. This is a true story. Like
you stared at for 3 days.
3 days. Sun, moon, like 3 days. Yeah. Picked up by an ambulance. 5150. Oh, she's crazy. You know, took me to the hospital. Wow. And yeah, it was pretty.
Where were you at? Like, where was this at?
I was in Wilmington, so we were on some like yacht party or whatever, and we somehow got to the port of Wilmington, and I ran off the boat and was like terrified of everybody, and like I was sitting there like found on the ground trying to sing to God, staring into the sun with like close to 30-degree burns all over my skin.
By yourself? You were just by yourself?
By myself. Ran away from my whole crew, and yeah. Wow. So that sucked, but you know.
You ever think about putting that story in a music video?
Oh yeah, all the time. I had my whole experience while I was tripping, like it was tight. But I didn't know that it wasn't really happening, so it was traumatizing. Yeah. So actually, if I wrote down that whole thing, I have this whole thing called "The Girl at the Gate," and it's going to be a whole story. But wow. Yeah, you know, watch yourself. Really, when you can't, you know, trust people, but you gotta be careful.
What have you learned from the older you compared to the younger you? What have you learned? So like from now, if you look back and you be like, you know, what's the difference from the younger you compared to the older you?
The younger me would just sit there and want everybody to do everything for me. It was really easy. I got very lucky and fortunate to be around the people I was around as a child. And as I got older and I wasn't getting the placements
Yeah.
and stuff that a regular artist would, I ended up losing my publishing deal, and then I quit music.
Wow.
And went to go experience life or whatever. But when I got back into it, because I love making it and doing it, I expected that same cushy, here, everything's handed to you kind of thing, multiple deals, and realized that the only one that's going to do it is me. I have to put it together, which is why I believe in really getting this whole team of people that I, I take care of and help, and we all help each other. We all really help each other. So that's something that, it's, man.
Well, if you could go back and tell that 14-year-old you, what would you tell? What would you tell yourself? Like, if you could go back and rewind.
Work harder. Work harder. You can do it. Work harder. Don't be lazy. If you want to do this, then don't wake up late. Don't go get up and do it. Like, that's it. That's really all it is. You can do it.
Yeah, no, that's real. I agree with you. Do you do anything else besides sing, write? What other hobbies do you do? Do you like to do?
I love to play pool.
Are you good at it?
I'm very good at it. You want to go? Let's go. Like, yeah. Now I'm blind, so.
Oh, so you can't even see, like, you really can't.
It's hard.
Well, that's
What
easy
about,
one,
like, you never thought about, like, LASIK eye surgery? Like,
I've thought about it. No, come on.
I'm just saying, like, we gotta, find some solutions.
It's like a $20,000
That's a large
procedure
solution.
out in Europe or whatever, and there's it's not to the point where I can't see. It's just to the point where I can't see parts. So like, I can't see like this much of your face. You know what I mean? When I look there, if I look there, it's just a blind spot within.
Because looking at the sun so long.
Right. So I
That's
burned a
trippy.
blind spot
That's
in my.
crazy.
In my
That's
eyes.
trippy as
Because if
hell.
you look at the sun for 4 seconds, you're like, and you look away.
4 seconds, I don't even look at it.
You can't.
I don't even
Literally,
look at it.
that's what they tell you. Like, it's common sense.
Yeah, you
I don't
lose
know.
your sight. You lose
In
your
my
eyesight,
tripped out head, I was like, the reason why they don't want us to know that looking into the sun has, it's going to open up some world or gate, and I was trying to beat it, and I lost. So.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
So, like, I fuck with your style tough. I want to know, like, what inspired your style in the fucking yellow hair? It's lit.
Different.
Thank
It's
you.
lit. I'm about to dye my hair too.
Ah!
I told the hairdresser, hey, I need some crazy shit. I don't even know what color it's gonna be. She gonna just get me right.
Right.
But I'm curious about the style.
Well, I always had different colors. I went through like every color of the rainbow, with my hair growing up, and then but everyone was like, "You look so much better blonde, blonde, blonde." And I was like, I still want to be blonde. It's fun.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to like just be another blonde chick singing songs, and like I wanted to whatever my appearance was to represent kind of who I was, because in a sense, you gotta like show that it's art. You know what I mean? And this is who I am. So that I don't know. It just came up like that. I wanted to glow in the dark. And
That's different.
Lauren, you can do that?
yeah, this hair
you
it
can do that?
glows in the dark, so it's
That shit glows in the dark.
well, it glows with UV lights and help and stuff like that. Yeah, it's not like I'm like you turn the light on for a second and turn it off.
That's what I'm saying.
Turn the lights off.
I'm like, that shit glows in the dark. So like,
That'd be a good invention.
do you do any like modeling or anything like that? Like,
No, I'm not a model. No,
No
I'm
modeling?
not a model. I'm actually kind of terrified of the camera. Like for real, I don't really like the camera at all. But I love singing. I like the microphone. I'm more on that side. You know what I mean?
So like, if music was obsolete and music was not around, what else would Nikki be doing? Like, what other hobbies do you have? Like,
I don't know where I would. That's
And
a crazy question.
and pool wasn't here either.
If pool, honestly, I'd probably be helping kids. I feel like music is something like you have to almost like no everybody. Okay, the message of make good music and be a good person. Well, a lot of people that are good people don't really need to hear that. You need to become almost a bad person or talk lyrically and speak to those people and bring them in, so that you can tell them then your message is.
kind of will them in.
Right. So so I would say helping kids, and I'm actually working on a song for autism awareness. That's going to be released April 2nd called Our Own Way. So I think that's where I would be very comfortable.
That's dope. So like doing social work for the community, giving
Yeah,
back.
100%.
What's your favorite and least favorite thing about being an artist?
My least favorite thing is I feel like sometimes people, whether it be guys or friends, girls, whatever, they sometimes want to be your friend just because they think that they can get something from you, or like connections, or like, oh, you're a singer, and it's like, well, do you really care about me? Are you really taking me seriously? And that can be, that can be kind of sad. I wrote a lot of songs about that. Like, I just want a real friend. But, you know, you have family and you do find your real friends. And the real friends are the ones that are really there for you. Those real friends are like Pocahontas. She's on my team. She's a real friend. She's like my sister. I have people like that now around me. So
Yeah. What's your favorite thing about being an artist?
my favorite thing about being an artist is that I can like go scream in someone's face, literally like, "Wah!" and get away with it. You know what I mean? That's like the only thing singing you can sing, and people will be like, "That was cool." Otherwise,
What big artists have you worked with besides Black China?
oh, I mean, my list is. I've been doing it for a long time. Ringo Starr. I mean, you know, name drop.
Yeah.
I have a
What
song
age
with
started
Nikki
into it? What
Paige.
age did you start doing music?
I started writing songs probably at like 7 or 8. I don't know, around there.
You've been at it.
Yeah, I my first publishing deal, like working as a writer, was at 11, and then before that, I was performing at like 9. So
You still remember your first song?
yes, I do.
How's it? How can I get a little glimpse of how the first 2 lines?
Okay. There's a room in my grandma's house, but she said that no kids were allowed. But today my dad unlocked it, told me to get some boxes, 'cause it's time for us to clean it out. So it was like a whole story. Yeah, that's the song that got me.
That's lit though. I like your style for sure, for sure.
It was like a whole like country song, like whatever.
That's crazy.
It's cool.
So I'm sorry to interrupt you though. What were the artists that you worked with? I'm curious to see like what kind of people you collab with, like what kind of
Man, I'm
people you
telling you,
work with.
it's a wide spectrum. I worked with pop to, you know, Nipsey Hussle. I'm on a record with him.
Wow, that's big.
I've never really told anybody that, because like
Yeah.
after he passed away and stuff like that, I thought it was like everyone was like, oh, look at me and Nipsey, look at me. And I'm just like,
Like kind of corny to do that. Like,
yeah, you know,
yeah.
that's not even the point. It's like, why are you really
Yeah.
respecting him, or you know? So but now, you know, I think that's pretty cool. He did something great for
Yeah.
the community, and yeah, I'm proud to say that I have a record with him.
Yeah.
That's dope.
How does Nikki help the community?
I every day I try to figure out like how I'm gonna do that. You know,
Yeah.
I don't have all the answers to that yet, but
Yeah.
I strive. Like I have a song called "Colorblind." Like when the George Floyd, you know, I've tried to show people, and I didn't know how I was gonna take on that challenge. Like, how am I gonna write a song about this? Like literally that day, and I it's called "Colorblind." So if you haven't had a chance to check it out, that's one example, you know. And then I told you I'm doing this song for the autism awareness, which isn't just going to be just for the month. I'm going to try to pursue pushing that and showing people how hard it is for the whole family that, you know, has an autistic child to, you know, wake up in the morning and get ready for school and deal with the bullying and you know, the waiters saying you need to be quiet. You know, it's really a hard lifestyle, but I think people that really fight for that, they're amazing people.
Yeah,
They're really
no, I
amazing
agree
people.
with you. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Do you? So, like you said, you don't really do the modeling side, but do you have any like clothing brand, like stuff that you know that's coming out or fashion?
I have a lot of like really beautiful model friends and stuff like that. So I'm having them mostly sport my stuff.
How do we find that?
Well, and right now it's kind of like a secret, but I'm still in the midst of making my merch line.
Okay.
I've had it before, and now I'm
For
looking
the fans,
for the
it's coming
pieces.
soon. Okay.
Right. So that's I'm gonna take like, you know, some of the proceeds as well and put it towards the foundations and stuff that I'm
Good.
trying
Towards the community. And that's dope. That's dope. That's literally dope. One thing you would tell your non-believers.
Non-believers. It's okay.
It's okay.
I love you. I love you either way, you know. And I don't really. I'm pretty fortunate.
Yeah.
People might say my voice is annoying or whatever, but no one ever comes up to me and just specifically says like you suck or whatever. Because I'm not here to say that I'm like the craziest or the best singer. I'm not, you know. But I'm a very passionate singer, and I think people, you know, they like seeing real passion. So if they don't like it, then they don't like passion, and that's totally fine.
Exactly.
You know, that's totally fine.
When did you realize you were going to make music the career?
I think it kind of just happened. I love doing it, and again, like everyone else was trying to push it and say, "This is what you're gonna do." I had just like would show up to a session or whatever, and I just love doing it. So I still don't even want to think of it like that. But there's a time where you have to really sit back and be like, "Okay, this is a business. I got to take it seriously. There's other people involved," and I think really as of recently, now that I'm taking more of this on by myself, and building this team of these amazing, beautiful people, now I'm realizing, okay, this is really what I'm doing. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it one last little push, so.
Are you religious?
I am. I love God.
So when everything is over and there is no more thing, what do you think happens? No more life.
When the lights go out.
When the lights go out, I
cut.
When somebody passes away, I always like to say, like, they didn't really die. Energy doesn't die. It just gets passed on. It never dies. It moves. So I think that alone is kind of like proof in a way that we're not really just going to die. We're going to go somewhere else. And whether that be, and that's kind of a sensitive subject to a lot of people because they don't believe that, or there's so many different types of religions. I just think it's really smart and good for your mind to study all of them, and pick one that makes you understand what morals are, So I think what happens is you get a lot of answers.
What other hobbies? But like, so are you into sports or anything like that?
Oh no, no, I've always been really bad at it. In fact, when I played basketball, like one time I was so stoked because I finally made a basket, but everyone forgot to tell me that we switched sides.
Oh, nice. You made it on that? Oh, man.
Yeah, I've never been good at sports.
No, go the other way.
No, I'm with you on that one.
They were mad, so.
So you work with a lot of artists, and a lot of great names. If you could choose one person you could do a collab album with, who would it be?
One person I could do a
collaboration right now.
Man,
he's about to walk in the door, studio, pull up.
Probably Justin Bieber.
Wow, that'd be crazy.
I think
he's amazing too, But I mean, my choice back then would have been like Eminem or Sia.
Do you got the fever?
Do I got? No.
For sure. So what are some, like, who are your inspiration? Like, who inspires you, like, in music?
My mom really pushes me.
She sings?
No, but my grandparents, I guess, sang. I never met them, but she really pushes me very hard. You know what I mean? Like, it reminds me that, that this is what I was meant to do, and that I could do good things with it. So she's a huge, my family and my friends, Yeah.
That's dope, because everybody doesn't have their parents that necessarily support.
You both,
you
right?
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was just saying that's dope, because some artists don't have their parents' full support. You know what I mean? That can be kind of like draining. So
they're 100% there. I love my family. They, it's tough. You know what I mean? It's really tough. It's been like a whole, collaboration of efforts from everybody in my family. With pushing me and motivating me, which has been crazy because I'm like, what? But like, it's good.
So now you live in Orange County, right?
I live in Orange County.
What is it like living out there, instead of, where you're from?
I've been living, I'm pretty much from there now. You know what I mean? I left Stockton at 8. I still have like my sister and a lot of family out there. But Orange County is pretty much my home. I go back and forth between.
How do you do
LA.
that drive?
I love that drive.
How far is that? Like 2 hours?
I love that drive. It's about an hour. It could be. It's just.
I mean,
30 minutes.
to the city of LA, it's just like,
But when you're listening to music all day, your own stuff, and then you get in the car and you're listening to someone else's music, it's inspiring to hear other people's music as well. And then if you're critiquing one of your own records, you can play it back and over and over and over again without having to drive the producers crazy. So I enjoy the time away and like
a little piece of mind.
Yeah.
What's your process of making music? Do you have like a certain place that always just like sparks the brain that you're like, oh, I could write right now? Like me, it's like when I'm in a car and I'm playing instrumentals, instantly I write better while driving in the car than actually being in the studio. I don't know why, it just happens,
I have over 10,000 songs in my catalog since I've been writing.
10,000 songs.
It's insane. And some stuff that I've submitted and stuff, I just I don't really care about the whole way that you're supposed to do it. But what inspires me is like, okay, we're gonna go and there's some cool music or some cool people, and we're all in the right, like our head is in the right place.
The vibes are right.
Push record. Let's just see what comes out like naturally. And I love writing like that, but there are times where you gotta sit down and write, and that can be nerve-wracking for me a little bit because I'm like, now I gotta make sure that this is actually really awesome. And you know, sometimes you know it as soon as you find that one word and it goes click,
Right.
click, click.
It's
Like,
everything
it's
else
the whole
just
thing.
falls all together.
Any producers you ever want to work with? If you could work with one producer and you like, yo, I know I'm gonna want to work with this producer. My sound and that person's sound would be like amazing.
No, I've worked with everybody being like, oh, you need to work with this big name or this big name, and it doesn't really make a difference. It's a matter of who's going to be putting in the time and actually love working with you.
Like you said.
It doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Your
how big it is.
your biggest pet peeve about being in the studio?
Biggest pet peeve about being in a studio.
Like while being in the studio, what is it that one thing that will irritate you?
When I'm ready to record right now, and everybody's still sitting there trying to question how the song's gonna go or whatever, and I'm just like, why am I here? Why am I here if you already got it? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to go in and show you what I'm thinking. If you want me to go do what they're thinking, then why don't you have someone else, or why don't you do it?
That's real. That's real.
Like, if you go do it, because you call me for a different reason, I think, right?
What Red Speeches say? You do it, Nugget.
It's so true, dude. You do it.
Oh man, so I met you at Eilers, right? It was Eilers, right? Y'all got some work coming out, right?
Yeah, we have a really cool project.
Because he was playing some song. He played one song. I forgot what it was called, but it was like, I think it was on Black and White or something.
Colorblind.
Oh man, that song
Colorblind.
is crazy.
That was the song you were talking about.
Yeah.
About
That song is, sheesh.
Yeah, I love that song.
Yeah, you killed that. You did that. Did he produce that?
He did. Well, it was kind of a crazy situation.
Yeah.
As we're, with politics and stuff involved. I wanted to get that song out tonight. Tonight. This has to drop tonight. But
You did a video to it too, right?
yeah, we did a video.
Yeah.
The next day, we shot. Eiler had his camera crew come in. He shot a video, and then somewhere within the next couple of days, I wanted to just go and recut a couple high notes and stuff, and really make it perfect. And then we found out that the beat had been sold apparently to Justin Bieber or whatever. And I was like, let me make some calls and see if that's real. They're like, no, wait. And I was just like, you know what? So we ended up actually reproducing the record, and this is what's out right now is what's out.
After you gotta hear that shit. That's just crazy. Yeah, no, that's what's up. I heard and I was like, damn, that was the first track I heard that he had played of yours. I was like, who? What?
I love that song because it wasn't.
But it was real though. Did you freestyle that song by the way?
I freestyled the first version of it, and the first version was like a love song.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is awesome, but there's just some talking about like baby, oh baby, be mine. And I was like, so I held on to it for 4 months or so, and then after George passed, I was like, I wonder if I can take one of my favorite melodies with me, just like going off the record of what structure is in a song, and put some crazy, amazing, heartfelt words of how I really feel about what's going on right now. And I did that, and the next day we shot it and recorded it.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'd heard. I was like, wow, that's a really good song. Do you ever feel like LA's really fast paced and stuff like that? Do you love living in LA?
Yeah, I mean, I love LA. It's definitely a different place,
Would you ever want to like live somewhere else just to like, maybe just to get it could be in United States, outside of the United States.
Sounds like you've been everywhere, damn.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Where's your favorite place that you've been so far?
In Sweden, on my 18th birthday party, I got to go in a bunch of apple trees. So Barbara had this like castle, and they have apple trees surrounding this castle, and basically we went paintballing with night vision goggles, and
that's crazy.
So rad.
That's crazy.
So rad. So, and it's beautiful there. You get Norway is beautiful too. You get all the seasons and stuff, and it's just if you can. Definitely try to step outside of just like LA or just your city or country or town, county, whatever, because it's everywhere you go it's different.
It's different vibes.
And it really shows you a lot about the world, you know what I mean? And it's beautiful.
Experiencing different people from different places must be crazy too.
Yeah, that's
I just got my passport. It comes in, I didn't get it yet, but I signed all the, you know what I mean? But it comes in March 5th and I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
I'm going overseas.
Where do you see yourself 10 years from now?
Just sitting, chilling in my own house studio, helping other people make music and showing them that they can, and that this is probably, if you can't, like, just saving people time and how it really works.
When it's all said and done, what do you want people to remember?
I did the very best I possibly could, and I believed in the real reason of why you should be making music, music.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. No, that's what's up. I got a random question.
Uh-oh.
Is the world circle?
Is it flat? Man, I don't know. You know what? I'm not an alien. Maybe people say that, but I don't have any of the actual answers. I don't feel like anybody really has any real answers, and that's something that we can look forward to. I think.
Are you taking the vaccine?
Am I taking the vaccine? I don't even like taking regular vaccines. I don't do needles. If it comes down to it or whatever, and I've seen enough people had it and it's they've taken it and it's fine. But I mean, I have a feeling that none of us are really going to have a choice. So I'm not going to be that person that's annoying and being like, trying to, for whatever. Like, shoot, I'm probably drinking and eating worse foods, but. Drinking, eating worse foods, but I don't know right now. If I don't have to just yet, I'd rather wait and see.
Yeah, I feel like sooner or later they're gonna be like, because I'm pretty sure you can't get certain like benefits or things without the shot. Get an ID without.
Yeah, you can't even walk into a place without a piece of paper on your ID. I've been, so that's all scary. I think that it's all scary, but you can't really live your life thinking about it.
Right. You gotta just go move forward. Go with the flow.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. If you could give some motivation to the younger generation and just to, stay focused on how to make it. There's probably like someone that was in the same footsteps you were, but younger. What is the motivation that you would give them, on to become, like you?
Stay focused. Anything is possible if you understand and study what you're trying to do and learn it and learn that like, for example, with me, music, there's 12 notes. I know that. There's 12 notes, 24 tonalities. So you need to, I had to sit back because knowing that knowledge of what is, what people are used to, you know what I'm saying? Like, being able to communicate that helps a lot. You know what I mean? Not understanding and knowing the terminology that in the studio and having studio etiquette, all this stuff works together. So, like, if you want to do what you want to do, go and learn how to do it. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've worked with producers or mixing engineers, and they're asking me what key the song is. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll tell you, but why would you not know? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, you should know that because it's going to help you be the best. You know what I mean? If you're not willing to be the best, then someone else will, and you're going to keep wondering why you're not the best. Right. And then once you are the best, maybe realize that you still have a lot to learn. Otherwise, you meet your peak. Can't really teach somebody something or learn anything if you already know everything.
If you can't get right, you're going to get left.
And it always changes. Music is crazy. It's a spiritual thing. It always changes. And I feel like a lot of the music we're listening to now is just exactly the same because nobody wants to make those changes.
To learn the actual, okay.
That was deep. Wake It Gamer, it's your boy Junne. You are now listening to Junnin with Junne, the best fucking podcast in the universe. Alright, that's a wrap.